Last year, I was hired by a small landowner to develop a hunting and habitat plan for his small 10-acre parcel in the thumb of Michigan. On this property, my main focus was to create a social hotspot throughout the property and have lots of different social areas with scrapes, some small water holes, using a lot of his small terrain features and thick security cover to break them up and put as much food within these bedding areas as we possibly can, hoping to have several neighboring doe family groups spend more time on this small property. And with it being hunted right and good access, I felt the client could definitely see and possibly harvest more mature bucks on this small 10-acre property. As you can see, this plan is fairly simple, as it's a long, narrow property with a creek bed running through the center of it, and it sets up, fairly unique for a longer property. It's broke up into basically two main sections. We've got a back section here that's kind of got a big swamp over here, and there's several good pinch points. There's a couple of center terrain features that are up on the center of this back portion, and I felt they were great bedding locations to stack more deer in, as he's got other neighboring ag fields here, and I felt we could increase the holding capacity of this property by getting a couple of doe family groups to hopefully bed on this property with limited hunting pressure and hunting over the right conditions. I think could result in seeing a lot more bucks and hopefully more mature bucks. So I created a plan for him, and then this year he called me back and wanted me to help him implement that habitat plan. And so we started off, I did a lot of TSI bedding, hinge cutting bedding back on his terrain features where his deer wanted to bed. And then as well as that, I went into the front of his property, which had been logged roughly right around 10 years ago. It had a lot of small pole timber size trees on it. And we went through and created several small micro food plot trails, micro food plot locations, lots of different walls of cover in here, and try to organize a lot of his cover, creating more space and room for doe family groups to bed, and as well as that, create more screening so we can get bucks to really use every square inch of this property, searching for does, or in turn running downwind of this property, and that will set up really well for his access and two different blind locations that the client has. All right, well, now I'm on the back section of the property, and we've got this big ditch that runs all the way down through here. You can see it drops off right there. We got a big culvert, and this is one of the main pinch points of the property where a lot of these deer come across. So we've continued this trail. This was all blocked off, so we opened this all up. And we've got a nice travel corridor that runs across the water here. And then it goes all the way up into a bunch of bedding on different terrain features back there. And then there's also another trail that winds around, comes down through there, and then comes back up over this big hill right here. And I'll show you that. So we kind of lead back over here, over this ridge. This kind of leads down back to the other property line over there, and then the property actually runs this way, north to south. So we've got another line of screening here against the ditch right here, and then this leads back across down into the main trail system of the property. Basically forks off here. We've got a travel corridor that wraps all the way around through here, back down to the property line, and I'll take you through that and all the way around through the backside, show you where we're going to have a blind over there, and then really easy access for predominant like southwest wind. We've got a bunch of apple trees that we've opened up in here. He's probably got 6 or 7 apple trees in this little, probably right around 4 to 5 acres. So we've opened up a bunch of canopy here where we can get lots of sunlight in to this main trail. And this has all been frost seeded. We've got ladino clover, some crimson, some chicory, and then we've also got some alfalfa in here too. So we really tried to screen things off here as much as I can. We've got these individual walls, and there's both outside walls, and we've got lots of little small interior walls. So we can try to fit, you know, a couple different doe family groups in here is the goal. Open up around a lot of these apple trees, giving them a lot more sunlight. Got lots of these little sneak trails running through here where we've got a wall, and then we've got open area. We've got these little high mounds built up here. Lots of doe beds all up in through these high ground areas. So you can see some of these stumps in here. This property was logged right around 10 to 15 years ago. And they took most of the good timber out of here. And really, you can see all the aspen that just has regenerated. There's some basswood in here. So some of this has been hinged, some of it's just been flush cut. Obviously some of these aspen are not gonna stay alive, and that's totally fine. I'm just using them as some structure, some screening. And then hopefully we're gonna get a lot of aspen regeneration in here. Obviously open up around some more apple trees, and we're leaving, you know, little clumps of aspen in here where we can come back in and do regenerative cuts in here. We can come back through here, clear cut these, put them back into a wall, and we're leaving these little pockets of regeneration and little clear cuts. So we can kind of manage this on a multi-year rotation, ideally. So we've got several different trails that all interconnect in here. And we've basically made a giant maze out of this little 4 or 5 acres. Got lots of little trails that connect through here. Lots of walls, interior walls. We come up here onto this high ground. Got lots of beds all up in through here. Another trail that leads back down through there and interconnects with the rest of those. And we've got some high ground right here. So I don't know if you guys can see, but there's a house, and then the client's barn is about 250 yards other side of this swamp. And so we've got really good screening here. We've got some different phragmitis grass and some cattails and stuff like that. So that is adding some screening in here. So we're gonna leave some of that. And I wanted to add some more visual screening in here on this top travel corridor. As well as that, I've gone through trying to eradicate as many of these invasive as I can. We got lots of bush honeysuckle, treated a lot of these. We're trying to really maximize native forbs in here and woody browse, so we can get as much food in this little property as possible. So here we kind of come to another hub section. We've got multiple trails coming into this apple tree. So we've got a main trail that comes down here real low, and we've got a high trail, and there's another trail that leads right down and wraps around to here. We've got a licking branch right here. I've opened up around this apple tree, so hopefully we get some good apple production out of it. And we've got several vines in here. You can see we just hung up a couple of these. The client's gonna come through and hang more up. And then we're gonna have a blind that's gonna sit back in between those 2 trees back there. And then he's gonna have shots, a nice, you know, right around 30-35 yard bow shot right up into that apple tree. And he's got another little shooting lane down through here, so he can also gun hunt if he wants to and have some longer shots. So this winds back down here. We got another big apple tree we opened up. Got another interior wall here. Got another trail that comes off the neighboring property. Doesn't really get much pressure over here, so we've left a couple of these areas open. We got another little staging micro plot where we filmed the interview. We got a couple of vine scrapes in here. Got one there, got one over there. So we're trying to create this as a social hub in here where we get a lot of pre-rut activity. And this leads back into another main trail, and we come back up through here, and then we head back down into this big ditch, the culvert crossing back over here. Well, hey everyone, it's Colin with Legendary Habitat. I'm out here with a client, Andrew, and we've been doing a lot of different habitat work here on this 10 acres up here in the thumb of Michigan. And Andrew had me out to this here property last year, did some consulting, we laid out a plan for it, and then he had me come back in this spring, and we came back in, did quite a bit of cutting back in here. We created up a lot of little micro food plots in here, travel corridor trails, and we really built it all around good access and, you know, 2 main blind locations that Andrew can very easily get into. So Andrew, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yep, I'm Andrew, go by Andy. Yeah, this is my 10 acres. Had Colin come out. Was in an accident about 2.5 years ago that I lost my left leg above my knee. So having Colin here to get things kind of situated and easy access for me to get to my blinds and be able to maybe bow hunt some deer come this fall.
Yeah, awesome. So, yeah, well, you're also
a veteran.
Veteran, which I thank you for your service. Really appreciate that.
I'd do it all over again.
Yeah, well, happy to help you out here, and really looking forward to your success. Hopefully, a successful season this year. And yeah, well, how was your experience with having me come out to your property?
Oh, this was awesome. You know, just being an amputee is a lot different and more difficult to do things, but you made it easy for me. And,
well, good.
And we worked along well together. Yeah. That's what's all that matters, and it worked well. So
yep, well, it's been a pleasure.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it can be done on small parcels, and you know, if you got a small property, there's a lot you can do. Don't think that you're out of the game as far as getting you know, mature bucks onto your property, you know, of several different age classes, and consistently seeing deer. So hopefully we're going to do some more updates on this property, you know, as Andrew keeps hunting it. I'm sure we'll get some more pictures and stuff like that later in the season.
Pictures out here because we know we got a lot of deer traffic already.
Right.
So now all we're doing is wait for the bigger ones to come in, and we'll get at them.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, I'll give you a little tour around the trails, show you kind of what I've done. And thanks guys for watching, and look forward to putting some more content out here in the future on this property. So thanks again, Andrew.
Thanks.
It's been a
Colin.
pleasure.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yep. So hopefully that gives you guys a little bit of a visual on what I've done with this small little property. I think it's got a lot of potential, and I'm looking forward to see what kind of success Andrew has on it this hunting season. Thanks guys for watching.